You know, sometimes the most incredible stories aren't in books or movies. They're hidden in plain sight, inside official documents. And today, we're going to crack one open. It's an urgent petition, and it tells a story of one person's fight against a really, really tight deadline. Okay, look at this. This one sentence is the whole reason we're here. It's not a polite request. It's a legal order with a deadline that is specific down to the minute. I mean, can you get any more specific? The stakes are just through the roof, and that clock is ticking loud. So how did it get to this point? Well, it all kicked off with a single piece of paper, showing up at just about the worst time of year you could imagine. I mean, just try to imagine this for a second. It's December 15th, 10 days before Christmas, and this shows up. And yeah, this wasn't just a note from the landlord. This was the real deal from the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office, kicking off an official legal countdown. So what does Dr. Muhammad Fayyad do? Does he start packing his bags? Nope. He decides to fight back. And not with shouting or anything like that, but with the system's own tools: language, logic, and the law itself. And this petition he writes, it's basically the main character of our story today. It's his tool to challenge the very system that's trying to evict. Okay, so what's actually in this thing? To really get why it's so powerful, we gotta break it down piece by piece. All right, here are the cold, hard facts of the case, straight from the petition. You've got the people involved. Dr. Fayyad, an individual, up against a company. You have the specific address in Santa Clara, California, and the official case file number. But really, all these details, they all point to that one terrifying line item, the eviction date, 7 a.m. on the Monday right after Christmas. And get this is what shows you how serious he is. He didn't just file this at the local courthouse and hope for the best. No way. He sent this petition straight to the top. We're talking the California Attorney General, the Santa Clara District Attorney, and the sheriff. This is him basically kicking the door open and demanding that the highest levels of law enforcement take a look. So how does he actually build his case? What's his strategy? Well, it's not just an emotional letter saying, please don't do this. It's way smarter than that. He builds a formal 4-part argument to challenge this thing on solid legal ground. His strategy is honestly brilliant. It's this methodical 4-step approach. First, he questions if the whole process was even fair to begin with. Then he moves to the practical stuff, like his belongings. After that, he makes it clear he's not done fighting in court. And only at the very end does he appeal to their humanity. It's a really smart structure. Okay, so his first big point is all about this thing called due process. It's a cornerstone of the whole legal system. And really, it just boils down to one word: fairness. He's basically asking the top cops in the state, hey, can you guys please double-check my case and tell me if the process that led to this eviction was actually fair? Was it done right? All right, argument number 2. He shifts from big ideas about rights to something very real, his personal stuff. And he's not just saying, hey, don't throw my things on the street. He's using their own rule book against them, citing specific California laws like the ones you see here. He's showing them, look, your own laws say you have to follow a procedure for a tenant's property. It's a power move. His third point is, wow, so powerful and so simple. This quote from the petition just says it all. He's basically saying, hold on, this game is not over. I'm not done. He's pointing out that even their own notice hints that he has other legal moves to make, and he's demanding the right to make them before they force him out. Okay, so he's laid out these 4 really solid arguments, but what does he actually want them to do about it? This is where the petition shifts from just making a case to making specific demands. He asks for 3 very specific things. No fluff, just direct requests. 1, take another look at my case file, right now. 2, hit the pause button on that December 29th eviction. That's what a stay is in legal speak. And 3, step in to protect my civil rights and make sure I don't end up homeless because of this. See? Super direct, super clear. These are things they can actually do. So we've gone through the nuts and bolts of this petition, right? The who, what, where, and why. But now I want to zoom out for a second, because this one piece of paper, it actually tells a much bigger story about how things work. And you might be thinking, okay, that's a tough situation for one guy, but why does this one person's petition really matter in the grand scheme of things? It's a fair question. It matters because this petition is a perfect blueprint for how an individual can stand up for themselves. It shows that the law, with all its complicated language and procedures, isn't just for lawyers and judges. It's a tool that anyone can learn to use to demand fairness and hold the system accountable to its own rules. So as we wrap this up, what are the big ideas to take away from all this? First, that knowing the right language and the right laws can be a superpower for an ordinary person. Second, our legal system, as messy as it can be, actually has checks and balances built into it, and they're there for a reason. They're meant to be used. And maybe the biggest lesson here is that you can make a rock-solid legal argument and still connect it to a simple, powerful appeal to our shared humanity. And that really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. You have this collision, right? On one side, you have a rigid, by-the-book procedure with a hard deadline. On the other, you have a very human plea for compassion. So it forces us to ask, when procedure and humanity crash into each other, what does justice really look like?